Today we're looking at my new Bluetti Elite 200 V2. It is a 2600 watt inverter with a 2073.6 watt hour battery capacity. This has been on the market for about a year. It's November 2025. In fact, Black Friday is coming up real soon, and this is on a really good deal. You can find a link to it on my website and in the description below, where I actually have a discount code that you can use. We're going to be looking at what this can actually do. There are lots of reviews out there. As I said, this is a year old, so there's lots of reviews on its capacity and all the other standard tests most other reviewers do. I'm looking at it from an actual use case. So I did some tests with a space heater, running my freezer, and a couple of other things, charging radio control car batteries, things that I'm actually going to use it for. So let's take a look at it. We'll look at solar charging and some of the testing I did to see how long this thing will last. I'm also going to compare it to my AC200 Max. The only reason I'm doing that is because the specs on the Elite 200 very closely match the AC200 Max. But again, that's really only on the inverter and battery size, and then the overall physical size. There's a lot of differences otherwise between the two devices, which I'll show later in the video. Just to do a quick look at the specs, here's your DC input for solar charging. It's limited to 12 to 60 volts at 20 amps, 1000 watts in theory. DC out 12 volts, 10 amps, like pretty much what all the Bluettis have. You got a couple of USB ports and your 4 AC outputs. To turn on your AC or your DC, just push the buttons. That turns on your AC and your DC, and of course turns them off. To turn off the Elite 200, you just push and hold the power button, and now it'll turn itself off. To turn it back on, just push and hold the power button, and you're in business. You can connect to it through Bluetooth and also through Wi-Fi, so you can use the app. You can also access all the features through the device itself. I've got my new Elite 200 plugged into solar. It's connected to my Renogy 400 watt solar suitcase, which I've got propped against the house because the sun angle is pretty low. It's November 15th. It's almost 11 a.m. So here's the Bluetti Elite 200 V2 running our large old chest freezer. We bought this in 2001. It's in our basement and it still works. I plugged the freezer into the Elite 200 at 9 a.m. this morning. It's now a little after 11. We've only used 10%. I've been opening and closing the freezer a couple of times already to over simulate actually using it. Obviously, if we were in a power outage situation, we probably wouldn't be going into the freezer, but we'll let this run down to 0. We'll come back and check on this later. I have here the Bluetti Elite 200 V2. I'm running a charging test. I've got both my chargers running at the maximum output. The UP120C I'm running at 12 amps, as you can see, over 7.8 volts because I'm running 2 cell batteries, the 5200 milliamp hour Zs. And on the UP6 Plus, I've got my 2 SMC 6900 milliamp hour batteries running at its maximum, which is 16 amps. However, as you can see from the voltage and the amperage, I can't go over 12.4 volts because I'm at the maximum 300 watts AC that it can run. You know, over here I'm getting the maximum 12 amps going in, and you can see we're running just over 900 watts. So I would never charge my batteries at 3C rating. I'm just doing this for testing purposes. I very rarely charge my batteries at more than a 1C charge rate. So in other words, 6,900 milliamp hours, I charge at 6.9 amps. 5,200 milliamp hours, I charge at 5.2 amps. So I'm going to stop the test now. Just wanted to show that we can run almost 1,000 watts without any issues on the Bluetti Elite 200 V2. For a size comparison, here's my AC200 Max and the Elite 200 just stacked on top of each other. Kind of see size-wise roughly how they compare. Continuing the size comparison, that's the AC200 Max, the Elite 200,